In this video we will learn about what are hooks in React.js. Hooks are functions that allow you to use state and other React features without writing a class component. They were introduced in React 16.8 to make it easier to share logic between components, manage side effects, and use local component state in a simpler and more reusable way. Hooks are a fundamental part of modern React development. Before hooks, state management, lifecycle methods, and other important features were only available in class components. We'll dive deep into the most commonly used React hooks, how they work, and how to leverage them in your React applications. Let's explore hooks and see how they improve the way we build modern React apps. Some of the most popular hooks in React include useState, useEffect, useContext, useReducer, useRef, useMemo, useCallback, useLayoutEffect, and useImperative handle. Let's talk about the useState hook. The useState hook lets you add state to your functional components. It returns a pair, the current state value in a function to update that value. This React functional component, named counter, uses React hooks to manage and display a counter. It starts by initializing a count state variable with a default value of 0 through the useState hook. The setCount function, also provided by useState, allows updating the count value. Inside the component, a helper function increment is defined, which increments the count by 1 each time it's called. The component returns JSX markup with a div element containing an h1 to display the current count and a button. When the button is clicked, it triggers the increment function, updating and re-rendering the component to show the incremented count. Finally, the component is exported as counter, making it reusable in other parts of the application. Let's see coding example of the useEffect hook. The useEffect hook is used to handle side effects in your component, such as fetching data, subscribing to events, or manually interacting with the DOM. The first argument is the effect function, which runs after the component renders. The second argument is an optional dependency array that determines when the effect should run again. If empty, it only runs once when the component mounts. The data fetcher React component is designed to retrieve data from an external API and display it. It uses two state variables: data, initialized to null, to store the fetched data, and loading, initialized to true, to track the loading status. The useEffect hook runs only once when the component mounts, as indicated by the empty dependency array. Inside useEffect, a fetch request is sent to api.example.com. Once the data is successfully retrieved and converted to JSON, it is stored in data, and loading is set to false to signal that the data is ready. If an error occurs during the fetch, it logs an error message and also sets loading to false. While loading, the component displays a loading message. Once loading is complete, it renders the fetched data as a JSON string. Finally, data fetcher is exported for use in other parts of the application. Cleanup with useEffect. Sometimes, you need to clean up when a component is unmounted, such as cancelling network requests or clearing intervals. You can do this inside the cleanup function of useEffect. Let's talk about the useContext hook. In this code, a React context named themeContext is created using react.createContext, with a default value of light. The purpose of themeContext is to provide a theme value light or dark that can be accessed by any component within its provider hierarchy. The themed component function uses the useContext hook to access the current value of themeContext. It uses this theme value to dynamically set the background color style of a div. If the theme is light, the background is set to white. If dark, it changes to dark gray. The app component wraps themed component in a themeContext.provider, explicitly setting the context's value to dark. As a result, themed component will receive dark as the theme, setting the background color to dark gray. This setup allows easy control over theme values across components without passing props down the component tree. Finally, the app component is exported for use elsewhere in the application. Let's see how to create custom hooks. One of the coolest features of hooks is the ability to create custom hooks to reuse stateful logic between components. The useFetch custom hook encapsulates the logic for fetching data and returning the state, data, loading. This makes it easy to reuse the same logic in multiple components. In conclusion, React hooks are a powerful and flexible way to manage state, side effects, and other React features in functional components. They eliminate the need for class components while allowing developers to write cleaner, more readable, and reusable code. Thank you for watching. आपको वीडियो पसंद आए या नहीं? अपना फीडबैक जरूर देना and please subscribe.